Hello there. It's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. So let's talk about my Star Wars Steelbook collection and what I enjoy and dislike about Star Wars. So with Star Wars, I grew up with it as a kid, mostly with the toys and the games, but I actually started watching Star Wars when I got to about 13, 14. I started with Revenge of the Sith and then worked my way back and watched from A New Hope onwards. Um, I feel like when I got to like age 10, 11, I started appreciating a lot more films going forward. And I used to enjoy watching the behind the scenes and just everything about how they made Star Wars. And I found George Lucas fascinating. I love just that he thought of it all in his head, this massive world of Star Wars, and he added bits and pieces along the way, and no one believed in him. No one thought he was going to do well, and he proved them all wrong. And I think that's amazing. And I do like the fact that he's gone back and enhanced his original trilogy, and I do like that he's added some bits to it. And I do get that a lot of people who grew up with the originals will want the originals the way they are, and that's fine. I feel like it should be an option. You should get a choice of having the originals, and you should get a choice of having the George Lucas edits. I know you can get the originals on bootleg, etc., but they should be officially released, and you should just be able to choose which one you want to watch. But I do like the fact he's gone back and he changed some bits, and things like Jabba the Hutt, things like the Emperor being properly put into Empire Strikes Back, and that they all flow together quite nicely. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed watching how he made them. And then when Force Awakens came out, I saw it at the cinema, and then I saw them all at cinema from then. Watching them in cinema is amazing. I used to work in a cinema, a little one-screen cinema, so I watched a lot of films for free. Watching Force Awakens, not seen a Star Wars film at the cinema before. I'm going to see Force Awakens, and as soon as that title hits, it goes bam, and then you've got the scroll, and it's just, honestly, there's no experience like it. It's absolutely incredible. And Force Awakens, I feel like, was pretty good reintroduction to Star Wars. Obviously what followed wasn't that great. But yeah, and then I end up having the DVDs, Blu-rays, and then I upgraded all to Steelbooks. So all my Star Wars are on Steelbook. And yeah, so I thought I'd show you what I've got. So I've got the prequel trilogy, which is, so with this one, I actually did buy it on eBay, but the cover's quite dark. I went on Etsy before the Steelverse existed, so before I made customs, there was someone on there selling custom artwork for the trilogies of Star Wars, but he wasn't sending like we do. He sends a file to your email, and then you print and you cut and you find the paper, etc. So that sort of gave us a little bit of an idea of what to do with the Steelverse. So I do like this cover. It's very bright, very green. It's got Yoda on it, and yeah, I do like that a lot. And then the back, I've got this. This is actually a magnet, which I had forgotten about. So this is one of our magnets. And then the spine says Star Wars, a prequel trilogy. In terms of the prequels, you know, they're not amazing. I feel like people are trying to defend them way too much, or you might actually just enjoy them. I don't know, but they're not amazing. Phantom Menace is quite hard watch. Good moments at the end, obviously with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon. But yeah, it's quite a slow one. Obviously the pod race is pretty cool as well. Attack of the Clones, probably my worst Star Wars film. I find it so hard to sit through. It is so long. It feels so long anyway. The dialogue is not great. There's a lot of things that just don't happen. There again, there's a couple of good moments, but overall it's not my favourite. Revenge of the Sith is the best one out of the prequels. Order 66, the Anakin's turn to the dark side, the fight between Palpatine and Yoda, and obviously between Anakin and Obi-Wan. The last 20 minutes are brilliant of that film. Really good. But yeah, I do like this case. I think it's pretty cool. Let's move on to the originals. So same thing again. The case was quite dark. So I've got these covers. This is my favourite artwork, I think. So there it is. On the back, you've got some of the poster artwork where Luke's got a six-pack and his top's ripped open, and Leia's wearing clothes that she wasn't really wearing in the other one, but I still think it's pretty cool. And then it says the Star Wars originals. Obviously, the originals are incredible. These are the Lucas ones, but again, I enjoy them. I don't own the originals, and I might do. I might own like the originals without the edits, but for now, I quite enjoy these. So, Star Wars: A New Hope is really good. Empire Strikes Back is probably my favourite. Just love the fact that this time the good guys aren't going to win. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I think it's very, very good move. Return of Jedi, I think I enjoy them most people. Ewoks, yeah, they can be a little bit annoying, a bit childish, but I do like the battle at the end, and yeah, overall I do quite enjoy Return of Jedi. But yeah, this is quite a cool case, this one, and they're all Blu-rays as well. The sequel trilogy still, but it doesn't exist. Really annoys me. So I had the originals and the prequels, and then I had to add individual ones for the sequels. And it used to really annoy me, and I thought to myself, again, this is before the Steelverse, why don't I try and make my own? I found the guy's covers, I found a Steelbook with 3 disc holders, and that pretty much almost sounds like the birth of the Steelverse, because that's what we do now. We send covers so people can make their own Steelbooks. So yeah, so he had artwork, this guy, for the sequels, and it's a similar theme to the other ones. It's not an amazing one, but it's still better than what I did have. Back covers that. And then, yeah, Star Wars sequel trilogy. Sequel trilogy, again, gets a lot of hate. Force Awakens was, like I said, incredible to watch at cinema, and it's still an incredible film, I think. Set up quite a lot, just didn't get executed. Last Jedi, so when I was working at the cinema, I did the midnight showing, which I think I got a ticket for. Oh, yeah. So made my own tickets when I was at the cinema. So midnight showing, I didn't watch it. I sat in the kiosk. It's a 1 screen, and the kiosk, the walls are really thin. I didn't want to watch it because I was quite tired, so I put my headphones on. I didn't want to hear any spoilers. Managed to avoid it, and then a guy comes out right at the end and goes, "Oh my God, Luke died! I can't believe it." So yes, that spoiled that for me. Visually, I feel like it's the best Star Wars film that's been made. I think it's absolutely stunning. Empire is brilliant as well, and the rest are great. But The Last Jedi, I think the cinematography was amazing. I think I sort of like that the story took risks. Some of it was a bit of a slap in the face, but I feel like I do like the risky part of it. And the Finn stuff was awful. What they did with Finn overall was terrible. But yeah, and I didn't even mind the Luke story. Obviously, it would have been cool if he was actually fighting at the end. But yeah, overall, I quite enjoyed it, and I'm not with everyone that hates it. I feel like Rise of Skywalker deserves more dislike than Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker, watching that in the cinema again was pretty cool with my brothers. We were like, oh my God, it's so cool, such a good film. And you come out and you start thinking about it, and it wasn't the best film because they tried to retcon things that happened in Last Jedi. They tried to play it really safe. They should have just continued on as much as they could. But I understand Last Jedi got hate, so they try and do something different. But yeah, bringing back the Emperor, just shoving him in there with no real explanation. But again, visually it's cool. The music theme was pretty cool. I didn't hate it. At least it was more entertaining than Attack of the Clones for me. It just wasn't amazing. But don't hate the sequel trilogy. I just don't hate it at all. So after that, we've got Rogue One. So this one's slightly embossed, and I really like the colours. There's quite a lot of Rogue Ones out there, but this one's cool. The back, and then I've put a Star Wars story Rogue One. So I know it's meant to be a Rogue One, a Star Wars story, but by putting Star Wars there means that they all line up when they're on my shelf, and that's the main thing for me. Really good film. When I watched it in the cinema again, it was just amazing. I remember the trailer coming out with the siren, and really good film to watch. But when I watched it at home, it just felt a bit slow and a bit dull. But it still has good moments in it. But it was one of those films I watched in the cinema, and I just enjoyed it more, really. But still, overall, I do enjoy the story. I enjoy the way it ties up with A New Hope. But yeah, and I just like this case. I think it's pretty cool. Then we have Solo. So this is my Steelbook. Now, there's no title on the front, which annoys me, but I might be able to do lettering in vinyl. And again, this one's embossed as well. And then the back cover, and then Star Wars Story Solo. And again, I've got the ticket in here. I've got this one on 4K actually as well. A little midnight showing ticket from my cinema. So yeah, so this film, I knew it was going to flop because at the cinema, we knew it was coming, but we just didn't have any trailers for it, any posters, nothing, until about March. So when that happens and the film comes out in May, you know it's not going to be great. Obviously, Solo, nobody actually thinks about Solo and thinks about how did he get his name, etc., and how did he become the person he is. I don't think anybody cared about that. Harrison Ford is also iconic in the role, but overall, it's not a bad film. It did better than I thought it was going to do. The acting, is it Aldrin? I think I can't remember his name, but the person who plays Han Solo actually does a really good job. And then you've got Lando's incredible. Yeah, it's sort of a film that just doesn't really go anywhere. It's not really necessary, but it's Star Wars, so I will still watch it. And then we move on to completely custom. I watched Andor for the first time end of last year. I watched season 1 and season 2 in like the space of a week, and I just loved how dark and gritty and down to earth it was, and it was just the acting and visually just amazing. I haven't seen loads of Star Wars series, but I was just really enjoyed this, and I thought I need to get it on Steelbook. I need to make myself a Steelbook. So I've got season 1, season 2, and this spine is coming off a little bit because my daughter was playing with it. But Star Wars Story Andor, so I'm going to update that. But yeah, I know this is one I will watch again. It's got 4 discs inside. I've got them all off eBay, and when I finished watching it, I watched Rogue One, and the overall experience was just amazing. It goes into Rogue One really well. So yes, so that's my Andor Steelbook. And then last one is completely different. This is called Star Wars: The Pattern Cuts. So that's this one. So there is a film editor / maker called Patterson. He's got his own website. I will put a link in the description below. And he turned the Obi-Wan series into a film. And seriously, I cannot watch the series anymore because the film was that good. He chopped loads of bits. He took away loads of bits out of the series that were unnecessary. He added some flashbacks from the prequels. He added some extra Star Wars music. He enhanced some of the bits, and he made like a title at the beginning. And honestly, it just feels like it was always made to be a film. And lots of people were saying it should have been a film, but this guy made it happen, and it is sensational. Everyone I've recommended to has enjoyed it. And then he did Boba Fett, and he turned Boba Fett into 2 series. Still, it's not amazing, because Boba Fett wasn't an amazing series, but he makes it more watchable than the series. So 2 films he's done that into. And he also did Ahsoka season 1, and watching Ahsoka as a film, again, is a better experience than watching the series. He just takes away a lot of the fat, and just makes it a full-rounded film. And yeah, so he doesn't sell the discs. He does links on his website. Like I said, I'll put it in the description. And they're all free to download in all different variations. So you can do 4K, you can watch it in HD, etc. And then I got someone to put it on discs for me. But yeah, so it's quite a simple case. This one's a Star Wars Story, Patterson Cuts. But they're brilliant. Definitely do check them out if you're a big Star Wars fan. So yeah, so with Star Wars, I'm looking forward to Mandalorian and Grogu, but I do feel like it won't make as much money, because if you haven't seen Mandalorian, you won't be interested in Mandalorian and Grogu. That's what I think, anyway. And it's coming out in May. May's always a funny time, I think, for films, January and May. But we'll see. I'm hoping it makes money. I'm hoping it does well. Starfighter, I think, is next year with Ryan Gosling. Now that I'm really looking forward to. I think that's going to be a really good story. And I'm looking forward to more Rey, to be honest. I think she was a great actress, and I think they could do her some more justice in future films, as well as bring back Finn, I think. Make him a Jedi, give him a good story. So I feel like, and now Kathleen Kennedy is leaving. I feel like it's gonna be in good hands. I think now because it's going to Filoni. I think so. Yeah, be interesting. In terms of the series, I haven't watched many of the series. I've seen bits and pieces of Clone Wars and watched the final series of Clone Wars. Really enjoyed it. Rebels, I've seen again, probably the first two seasons of it. But I've watched all of Mandalorian. I've watched most of Bad Batch. I need to watch Darth Maul series. I did watch Obi-Wan and Ahsoka when they came out as well. I just haven't got a lot of time. There seems to be a loads of Star Wars things constantly coming out, and I haven't got a lot of time to sit and watch them. I definitely won't watch every single one, I don't think. I'll just watch the ones that are going to interest me. In terms of games, I mean, I had the original Lego games, and then I've got the complete saga Lego games, which is just good fun, which I put on every now and again, and it's good fun to play that. Force Unleashed 1 and 2. What else? Battlefront, an old bounty hunter game that was out, and is it Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. They were good. They were good games as well. A little bit repetitive, but there were good storylines in those games. But Star Wars, there's just not a lot of like it really. The fact that you can have Star Wars toys for kids. So when I was a kid, I was playing with like prequel toys, and now I'm in my 30s and I'm wearing Star Wars t-shirts, Star Wars mugs. I had Star Wars slippers, Star Wars Christmas jumpers, without feeling silly. You know what I mean? Without feeling like I'm wearing something that should belong on a child. Star Wars is something that transcends from child to really old person. Really, to you could be in your 80s and still wear Star Wars clothes, etc. So I think that's really cool that it's managed to do that. It's hard being a Star Wars fan sometimes. I don't really I left a load of Star Wars fan pages because of just the hate from a lot of people for like Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, the sequels. You can't mention the sequels at all without getting hate thrown at you. And I just don't hate anything. I think if you don't, there's some films that can be a big disappointment. You just don't watch them or you don't buy them. It's quite, for me, it's quite simple. If you don't like the sequels, don't watch them. Don't need to hate people or take a mickey out of people for not liking them. They're still Star Wars to me. Then I know they're not perfect, but they are still, to me, they are part of it. They are still Star Wars. But some people just like the originals. Some people don't like the prequels at all. Don't like anything that's full of it. Some people are just original fans. Some people are just prequel fans. And I think that's okay. You should just do whatever you feel's best. It's the same as there's like a Star Wars order. Some people will say, no, you watch 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Or you might watch just in any other order. But for me personally, I will watch from story order. So from prequels, originals, the bits in between, etc. And that's the thing. You can just watch it however you like. Like I said, we'll get onto the series maybe at some point. I do look forward to more Star Wars games because I do like the games. Like I said, the Lego one is just, it's always been a fun one for me. I always enjoy that. I enjoy introducing my kids to Star Wars stuff. I mean, they've already got Star Wars teddies and some toys floating around without even seeing the films. So, yeah, like I said, looking forward to Mandalorian Grogu. Hopefully it's good. Starfight to be good. I'm hoping the future of Star Wars be in good hands. Sometimes less is more. When you bring out loads of Star Wars at once, I feel like it just feels a bit overwhelming, like the MCU turned out to be. When MCU's pumping out 3 or 4 series every year plus films, people get fatigue. And you can get up with Star Wars because Star Wars wasn't built to be a big comic book film franchise. It was meant to be, I feel like, a special event. So it's been some time since Rise of Skywalker, so hopefully Mandalorian is good. Fingers crossed. Anyway, you're a Star Wars fan, please comment below. We do a lot of Star Wars covers for people from Steelverse. We've done loads of stuff for the originals and front magnets and full-on covers, etc. So you can just drop us a message if you're interested. We can have a look and see if we've got any that we still kept. And yeah, overall, yeah, I just want to say may the 4th be with you, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe, give us a like, comment below, share the video, and have a good day. Thank you.